Welcome to Jude, the podcast. This is David Jude, your host, as always. Glad that you have joined us again. We're continuing our 2026 voter series. So I appreciate you joining in and listening to us. With me, as always, my beautiful better half, Miss Stacy. How are you?
Hi.
Today, our musical challenge, we decided to, since it's Fat Tuesday, we decided to bring in with some Mardi Gras type music. So anyway, that's our musical piece for today. But let's get on to what we're actually here for, and that's to talk to one of our candidates for jailer. And with us today is our special guest, Jacob Adkins. Jake, welcome, buddy.
Yes, sir. How are y'all doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
Beautiful day today.
It's a great day, wasn't it? I've been trying to manifest warmer weather, and I'm not a fan of the cold. So.
I think summer's tomorrow.
Yep.
I'm cheering for it. Yeah, I'm cheering for the warm weather. We appreciate you being here and being a part of this, and, you know, coming in to sit down and just talk. Before we turned this thing on, we talked a little bit, and really the reason is that we're doing this is that it's an opportunity for us to learn about each candidate, including you, and then for whoever decides to listen to this thing, the same thing. So very appreciative of your time.
Yes, sir.
Well, then let's just kick it off with that. What we have done so far is to give the candidate just open air time to talk about anything that you want to speak to, and tell the voters why they should vote for you this year. Yeah.
So my name's Jacob Adkins, or Jake Adkins. Most folks know me. This was kind of a thing that I've learned a lot about coming into this through relationships with folks that I already know here in town. I had a lot of questions about it, and with questions comes more interest. Like I said, learning about it, you want to try to grow as a young age. I'm 30 years old. I'll be the youngest candidate, probably for any office here in Bourbon County this year, I'd say. And so I really look forward to learning so much about it, which I've already learned so much about, the whole race as well as campaigning and everything, and then which brings you to the things like this podcast and stuff. But I really think that I have a great shot at this. I think that my relationships that I have with local folks as well as law enforcement and jail is very well, and it's very beneficial. And I'm excited for it, and with excitement comes want to learn and want to do good. You have a lot of people looking at you. First off, I don't care what office you have, or I don't even care what you do in this town. You have a lot of people looking at you, but you have a lot of people that you want to impress and that you want to do good for. But at the end of the day, you're trying to do good for yourself and your community. So, that's really eager. You're really eager to want to do that, and, just excited for it.
Yeah.
Period.
What made you choose to run for jailer?
I tell you, it's been about a year now, and it was one of those things. I had some questions about, people running for different positions, and somebody I was sitting next to had some knowledge about it. And we started talking about, sheriffs and judges, jailers, coroners, magistrates, stuff like that. I was like, what does the jailer do? That was it. That was the question. What does the jailer do in Bourbon County, Kentucky? And there's a lot of opinions.
There's a lot of opinions. Yep.
But there's truly only one answer. And I believe that I have found that one answer, that answer being the right way, and nobody's perfect, but the right way that I think to do the job, and the best way that you can do the job from what's been presented before me, if elected, and then to what can be taught after me.
Yeah.
That was the main thing, that it was just questions. And then it's like curiosity turned into, well, heck, I think I could be a good candidate for that. And then learning about it. And you're, like I said, when you want something, you want it, and you learn about it and you chase it.
Yeah. and we'll get into some of that. I'm going to ask you about something else first, but I will close with these same comments, which congratulations to you. You know, the ability to put your name in the hat for a public office.
Thank you.
And the amount of energy that takes, regardless of what happens in the election, you know, that's courageous. So, I mean, congratulations to you for putting a campaign together. And like you said, you've been working on this for about a year and trying to learn and figure out if you want to do it. And you got yourself to the point where off you go. So,
yes, sir.
I mean, that's not to be taken lightly. It's a big deal. It's what the country's founded on, right?
It's intimidating. I mean, especially at my age. And that's kind of another thing is to try to show folks at, 30 years old, 20 years old, whatever, that learn about this stuff. This, grow. If you want it, take it, do as much as you can. But hopefully, even if I don't get elected, it still shows people to try for and learn about what
be
you're
involved.
doing. Be involved.
Yeah.
And the thing is, if I don't get elected, I still want to be involved in the parties and the meetings and stuff like that, and learn and in town, as well as I do a lot of volunteering and stuff like that. So I mean, it's just be involved in your community, whether it's political or anything. Just that's the main goal. Be involved.
That's right. That's right. Well, good for you. Now, before we hit record here, you were talking about some of your personal business stuff. I'd like to learn more about you for that. Now, do you want to talk about what you do for your
Sure.
Throw it on there. I think that's pretty interesting.
I've owned a hunting and fishing business. I've outfitted for a couple of years now. I've done it for several years for other businesses. I've just kind of done away with it. The traveling stuff is just too much. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of not where I want to be. You get, like I said, 30 years old, wanting to settle down a little bit. Want to be more of a homebody, I guess they would call it. And you want to be home more, do more in the community. Church is big to me. I'm not going to sit here and say I go to church every Sunday. Would I like to? Absolutely. But, life, I do have 2 children.
Yeah. And
so things happen and we still have to work and make money. I also am a volunteer firefighter for Clintonville Fire Department. And then I'm a part-time firefighter for Bourbon County Fire Department. And then I'm also as well taking EMT classes through the Paris Fire Department, their class that they're putting on, which those classes will be done in May. And
you're a busy guy.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds busy, talking about being a volunteer fire department, volunteer is a volunteer. You never know.
Clintonville Road keeps you busy enough. Trust me. Us, we know.
Knock on wood. It's been 3 weeks since we've made something on Clintonville, but
hopefully we keep that longer.
With the EMT classes and stuff, it's really, it's to better myself really, and to learn more for myself as well. But it's really about the community and really what you can do to serve others. And I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and I believe he put everybody here for a reason. And I come from a big fire, police, and EMS background family. I'm a 3rd-generation firefighter. My grandfather was the youngest fire chief ever in the state of Kentucky.
How about that?
At 24 years old, he became a fire chief. And so, to serve the public is a big thing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what wraps around back to the jailer's position at 30 years old to get me growing on an opportunity like that to serve in the community. Whether you're riding an ambulance, riding a fire truck, or transporting inmates, or helping out the jail, or whatever you're doing, you are serving your community, and that means a lot.
Yeah.
And I think people are put here, you're here to do something and give back. You're giving back with all of that.
Well, I wanted to hit on that because you're not new to public service, nor, from what you're saying, you're not new to Bourbon County government public service. You have both of those in with the volunteer fire department and your work you do with the county fire department. So you're not inexperienced or new in those two things. You're actually in the middle of it. So you're thinking about hiring a private investigator, huh? Think knowledge, experience, and trust. Think DPJ Consulting. Listen, we're the folks you want on your team. Whether it's a criminal matter, corporate, or an administrative issue, or maybe something more personal, you need to make the right choice for you. Our house of expertise at DPJ Consulting can help you with investigations, and that can mean a whole lot of different things. Pre-employment background checks, personal VIP security, and so much more. Check us out at dpjconsulting.com. Follow us on all of our social media platforms, or give us a call at 855-TEAM-DPJ. That's 855-TEAM-DPJ. Give us a call. It costs nothing to talk. It costs you everything if we don't.
A little bit. I've volunteered for a while now, as far as a part-time position. It is a little bit newer within the last 6 months or so.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, the EMD classes are newer. I was a volunteer firefighter when I was 18 years old and decided to chase my hunting dreams.
Yeah.
And left that. And, but everything circles back for a reason. We all explore, we all go out there and do things. And, like I said, we all have a purpose, and it brings us back to where we need to be.
Well, that's right. And again, we've only talked very briefly about it, but you seem to be successful in your business that you had too. I mean, you've done pretty well, it seems like, with that. So that's a lot, and that's worth saying, great job for those things.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. All right, let's move into some of our survey data. Now, I believe you said you took the survey.
Mm-hmm.
So you saw what our questions were. Okay. Have you had a chance to look at the results?
No, I actually didn't. I apologize.
No worries. I think they just came out last Friday or Saturday. So
yeah,
they're just now getting posted.
And that was through email, I reckon.
Well, it's on the same.
It's on the Facebook.
There's a Facebook link. We put it on the Facebook link, and then actually the same link that you took the survey takes you the same spot on our website. So yeah, we switched.
So for anybody listening that doesn't know about the results, they can go there and click on it, and they'll see the results.
Yeah, I encourage everybody to go look at those results, and then on the next surveys, please take them.
Yeah. So our company, DPJ Consulting. Again, we volunteered all of this, right, is our way of being involved. But it's on our website, dpjconsulting.com. If you go to I think it's the More menu, and you'll find PBC, Paris, Bourbon County Voter Survey. You'll find it there. But the link will be in the show notes here. So, sure. Yeah. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's start with the survey data and what that looks like. So as you're familiar, then we put really just one question in the survey about the jail. Mm-hmm. And what I find when I look here is this really doesn't surprise me. Now I have my previous career has exposed me to some of this jails, I'm saying, and my current work does. Yeah.
Jails. You've been on both sides.
But what we found is we had almost 100 people complete the survey.
That's great.
So we're pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
And then on question 59, which is, what is your opinion of the current jailer's office? Your experience as staff and the jailer. And so what we see is overwhelmingly neutral and no opinion. Now, I'm not surprised by that.
I'm not either.
Okay, so you may be.
I'm not either. From what I've learned, no.
The favorable and the unfavorable comments or numbers are about the same.
Yeah.
Right. And so this one just is neutral, no opinion. I'm not surprised of it because I don't think most people understand the community that a jail is.
Absolutely.
But that's not for me to say. This is your position. So we'll start with that. Tell me about the role of the jailer. And if you want to tie in specific to Bourbon County, that's great too.
Yeah. So, the state of Kentucky, the role of a jailer can go up and down either way on what it is. You've got jails. The jailer runs the jail. The jailer does the finances, does the administration work, all that stuff. I'm here to tell you today that Bourbon County, Kentucky Jail does absolutely none of that. The jailer position in Bourbon County, Kentucky does zero of that. You do not run the jail. You have nothing to do with finances. You have nothing to do with any of it. And that is the biggest misconception of what a jailer does in Bourbon County. And to explain that a little bit, the jailer's position, basically, and this is the facts, and it's hard for people. You think of the word jailer, the guy that runs the jail. It's not in Bourbon County. Our jail is a regional ran jail. We have inmates from different counties. We have federal inmates, and we also have Bourbon County inmates. Bourbon County inmates, I'll tell you right now, the honest truth is Bourbon County doesn't pay as much for their inmates, and that's part of it. It's our jail. We shouldn't have to. It's our jail. So with that, the jailer position in this county is solely to help transport inmates to and from facilities, they could be, states facilities, other county facilities, could be even mental facilities. You never know.
Right.
It's whatever you're called to do. It's your job. The only other thing, there's two things. You're a transport guy, and the second thing is that you are a voting member on the jail board. By that, you do have a voting number, as far as the committee or jail board, if you will, whatever. And you can help make decisions on that. Now, are you going to stand up and vote for the right thing? Say the right thing? Are you going to go with the crowd? Are you going to go with these folks that are, you just go with the flow kind of guy? Or are you going to actually have an opinion to actually benefit the jail? Yeah. And so, but that's the only thing you do. You transport people. Your number one thing in that job, and like I said, the voting thing is one thing for, you're a voting member on the jail board. But your number one thing is to be present for the sheriff's office of Bourbon County, Kentucky, and the Bourbon County Regional Jail. So when the jail administrator calls you, or an employee that is high up, or any employee, you're the jailer. They're going to call you. They're going to ask you for help. Be of service to them. That's what you are getting paid for by the people of Bourbon County, to be of service to the Bourbon County Jail. I don't care if it's raining, snowing, sleeting, hailstorm, whatever, the taxpayers and the people of Bourbon County are paying for your position to be of assistance to the Bourbon County Jail. Yeah. And if you cannot answer the phone, cannot answer text messages, or be in communication. Now, there's situations. Okay, 2 o'clock in the morning, sleeping, didn't hear your phone ring. That's great. Things happen, whatever. But you have to have those relationships with those people. And it starts with your sheriff's office. It starts with your regional jail administration. And the people at our jail and the people at our sheriff's office are some of the most amazing people in this county. And I'll tell you right now, the people at our jail work so hard for so little, and the things that they do and the sacrifices they have, and how dangerous our jail is ridiculous for the pay and stuff. So, it's just that's a big thing, to be advocatable about that. And, this isn't just an opportunity to get a paycheck. It's not. This is not a high-paying job. It is not a full-time job. It is not even a part-time job. You do not run the jail, period. You're of service.
What are the work hours?
There are none. 0 work hours. It's not a Monday through Friday. It's not a every other day. It's not a 24/48, anything like that. The sole job to the jailer of Bourbon County, Kentucky, is to simply be in contact with the sheriff's office, which, you look at, we have, and our sheriff now is Tony Asbury. Mm-hmm. We have our deputy sheriff, Brent Wilson. You have our jail administration and stuff. These folks that you deal with here, it's not just it's a work level, but it's a friendship at the same time. You want to be of service to these people. And if you can't respond to the call of service, you just don't need to be sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not a lot. It's really not. Our sheriff's deputies transport inmates all the time, back and forth. Our jail runs inmates back and forth to different facilities. So this is not like you're going to transport 3 people a day or anything. It's never been like that. But the thing is being a call of service on that is be more available. Or if you know next week you can't do as much, be like, hey, I'm going to be out,
Right.
these 4 days. Because there's something more I can do this week to, maybe level it out on a personal level with people. You just got to, it needs to happen.
I got you. I'm picking up a little bit. We'll get some more out of that as we go through.
Yeah.
Tying in some of those surveys, some of the questions or the responses, and these are my words, I'm paraphrasing, is that this is almost a pointless job. It's just an elected official. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not saying that to you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that some of the comments were there. But when I hear you talk about there's no schedule, so where does a jailer go to work, or do they go to work, or what's the day-to-day look like? So, because that was confusing, I got to be honest, and it kind of backs up some of the comments to say.
I guess I'm just a little taken back because I'm shocked a little bit. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to shock you more.
Kind of get back on track here a little bit.
That's interesting.
So the jailer makes about $20,000 a year.
Okay.
That's not a part-time job as far as pay-wise, right?
Right.
I mean, I think we could all agree that that's not a lot of money. But it's a lot of money if you're sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, just collecting a paycheck and insurance at that.
So how then, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So then, so what you're doing here is if an inmate, another job. So as far as transports, which I would consider this in a list of like transport stuff, an inmate gets hurt at the jail. They need to go to the hospital. You have a, Department of Corrections, worker or, officer, take them to the hospital and stuff. Then it's suggested, or it's nice if you can go up there and relieve them and sit with that inmate at the hospital. So if they're taken to Bourbon County Hospital or something like that, you go up there and sit. So then that worker can excuse me, started there. Yeah. That worker can go back to the detention center that is already understaffed.
So the jail staff, the jail personnel are, let's just go with that medical example.
Yeah.
You've got to take someone incarcerated to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the jail staff that's responsible for that transport, and then to sit with the inmate until they're released.
Yeah, well,
Usually,
I mean,
it depends.
The thing is, though, it's it's a situational kind of thing, but it needs to happen more. But not that somebody goes to the hospital every day or anything like that. But there are emergencies, and our jail is dangerous. The safety of our corrections officers, I mean, that's a whole other can to crack open, and that's people don't want to hear that opinion sometimes, which I don't care, because the safety of a human being is way more important, whether it's an inmate or a worker.
Well,
period.
You've mentioned dangerous twice. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
I think, yeah. I mean, you're more than welcome to.
Well, and I think it ties into here that when you have overwhelmingly folks in our community saying they don't have an opinion of the jailer's office, neutral, no opinion, it may be that they don't understand what's happening inside there. So I think it's a very relevant question. And since you brought it up, let's talk about it some. What's dangerous? What's happening?
Well, like I said, I want to elaborate. The jailer in Bourbon County does not run the jail.
Sure.
That's period. So what I'm saying is just facts of what I've learned. I've spent time in the jail. I've been to the jail on multiple occasions. I've even plowed the jail's parking lot this year with snow and ice and stuff. Because I care about those folks and I want this position.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is I don't need this position. I want this position because I have great folks I can deal with and I can learn from.
Sure.
And that's what I'm here for.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
But so with that, talking about the jail being dangerous, quote, you have our jail is a smaller jail. It really is a smaller jail for what we have. We're understaffed. That's the number one thing, understaffed. And at this time that I know of this week, the jail is fully staffed as of this week. But if you go back to your meetings with the judge and stuff, they bring them up saying the jail is fully staffed. And they even state themselves that, but next month it could be a different story.
Well,
Sure,
that's
there's turnover.
I think
And
that's everywhere.
Yeah, that's turnover everywhere.
And that's true. But the thing is why? And it's, like you said, everything could have, every job or whatever could have that. But why? Or what can we do to make that not be a worry?
Yeah.
But, one thing I've heard, which, like I said, the jailer doesn't run the jail. Okay. I am a voting member on the board. I can help stuff if elected with that. But, you have employees that are like, well, what about pay, increase in pay?
Well,
all that
sure.
stuff. Obviously, everybody wants an increase in pay, and it is a dangerous job.
So what's your vision to try to help the jail? Like, how do you feel like you're going to try to make an impact if you're elected?
If I'm elected, and impact is, like I said, the jailer doesn't run the jail. So, and you're going to hear me say that a lot because I'm going to make that very clear to this county. Because Sam Norris runs the jail. He's a very good person, very straightforward person.
And is that the jail administrator?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, great guy. Being of service to him, being of service to the sheriff and the sheriff's department. If they need help, they need transport. That is your job in Bourbon County, period. That is the number one job is transport. Because if they're having to take somebody away from the jail to transport somebody, that's one less employee they have at the jail. Or if you're elected and they're paying you and you're sitting at home and they have to pay somebody else to transport an inmate when they're already paying you, I'm sorry, but that's bullcrap.
Yeah.
I mean, there's situations, if you're,
So what vision do you have? Like, we were kind of told on one of the, and we're learning about the jail as well as regarding our inmates. A lot of the inmates reoffended once released within the first year. Do you have any thoughts on how to reduce that return rate? Or
well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want this to come off as like I don't care about people, right? Because that's not what this is. Obviously, as a godly person and a person that wants true rehabilitation and wants people to succeed and change their life around, what am I supposed to do as a jailer, as a transport person about that? So, you know what I'm saying? It's
so what is your thoughts on that?
I mean, rehabilitation's great.
Okay.
But what am I supposed to do about that? I'm the jailer of Bourbon County if I'm elected. I do not run the jail. I do not run, I don't know if you call them halfway houses or rehabilitation facilities or anything like that. It's just not what the jailer's position is in Bourbon County, Kentucky. Now, do I support that stuff? And will I be a voting member on a board of the jail if we can provide stuff? Like if that was thrown in front of me to do that, to help people? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would do everything I can, whether it's through ministry, whether it's through whatever we can do. I don't care. Anything we can do to, provide any help. But as the jailer of Bourbon County, that is not your position. There's nothing you could do about it other than, you don't run the jail. Gotcha. I can't start anything, So
we're learning about the differences of a regional jail and maybe just a local jail.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So one of the things that we are curious about is the regional jail. Is it mandatory to take other counties' inmates or state inmates or federal inmates? How does that work in this big picture? I mean, what does it mean to have a regional jail?
Yeah. So those are one of those things, like I said, I'm learning on. I've been learning on. And actually, I've reached out and spoke with other jailers in other counties, other jailers in counties that don't even have a jail. So that's one thing. You know what? We have 120 counties in the state of Kentucky. Every county has a jailer. And some of those counties don't even have a jail and have a jailer. It's just one of those things you have to have, I guess, through state law and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's a constitutional position, right? So it has to be elected. In my travels, I know that the jailer in some counties would just serve as the transport officer, but it's an elected position, so they had to have it. Okay.
And that's what it is here in Bourbon County.
Yeah.
You are the transport officer of Bourbon County. So with that, we, like I said, Bourbon County has federal inmates. We have federal inmates. We have state inmates. We have, I think we have, don't shoot me down if I'm wrong, but I think we have Harrison County, Nicholas County. I know we've taken Robinson County inmates. We have currently been talking, and when I say we've currently been talking, because I'm actively a part of talking and learning about this, so I will throw my name in as we, because I have been a part of trying to already actively do things. The inmate, how it breaks down is they pay per day on an inmate. So,
they being like each county or
yes,
whoever
each county pays per day on an inmate. So don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I want to say somewhere like Harrison County pays like $40 a day on an inmate or something like that. But we've been talking to Pendleton County about bringing inmates, and that is a good little distance. But we can house those inmates. Yes, we are smaller, but our funding, we need. You'll never make money in a jail. Jails are money pits. It's period. And that's what's so hard about getting good employees and employees to stay. Yeah. And that's the thing is, as a jailer, you just need to try to be assistants in those hard times, especially in those hard times.
So is that one opportunity then for growth from, say, like our regional jails? You could find Pendleton County who needs a place to house. Mm-hmm. And so there would be some negotiation, I guess, to accept their inmates.
So basically, as far as my knowledge, I think we might have even lost Pendleton County inmates over $1. And I'm sure there's way more to it than that, but we're working on trying to get those inmates, whether it's 15 inmates or so, if we can house them.
So how does that work with overcrowding? And I mean, how do you
all
manage?
Jails are overcrowded. All jails are overcrowded. I don't care what county you go to, what you do. I tell you right now, and I really pray on this, that our own Bourbon County inmates for our judges and stuff like that, I hope that we can kind of give opportunity and stuff. We do have inmates that come in that probably shouldn't be there as long as they should be, or there's some that should be there longer. I mean, you never know. I'm not a judge or anything like that, but I think that something that I would look into or try to ask questions about, possibly to other folks and judges, is the moving inmates along in the court system, because sometimes we hold on to our inmates too long, and when we could have a seat for a bed for other inmates in other counties that pay more.
Yeah.
And it all comes, it really gets really weird and financial and stuff like that. And it's a headache. Jails are money pits. Like I said, every jail is overpopulated. Our jail's simply not big enough. Jails don't pay for themselves. If we shut down our jail and send all of our inmates everywhere else, we're going to lose all the contracts. We're going to have to pay $50 a day to send them to Lexington. We're still going to have to pay for the lights and electric and water at that facility and all that stuff. You're still going to be in the hole. I mean,
do those other counties help fund the budget?
Yes.
Yes. Not just a per day piece. But.
So there is a per day. So the per day piece, and this is, like I said, this is stuff I'm all still learning about, but from what my knowledge and stuff on it, that, and then also they have to cover health on those inmates as well.
Like health insurance?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So, but I've been talking with the Bracken County Jailer. Right now, Bracken County takes about 12 to 15 inmates to Mason County.
Right.
And we can house those 12 to 15 inmates in Bourbon County. And at, if we can get them at $40 a day, that's great. We need those, we can't necessarily take 50 inmates or 100 inmates or anything like that. But I've spoke with that jailer in Bracken County, and, he's told me that, it's 45-minute drive, but it's a better jail. We have a good jail. We do. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody wishes their jail was bigger.
Sure.
I think everybody
wishes their house was bigger or something,
right.
But I mean, but and I think it all comes down, like you said, to the rehabilitation, trying to move folks out and stuff. I know other counties like Harrison County and stuff, they do fairly well on moving their inmates, getting them through court and doing the things they need to do. But it's all more that you learn. But I think our jail really does good. I think our jail administration is awesome. The people that we have in the office, they care about the jail, period. 100%, without a doubt, they care about the jail.
Well, that's where my next question is actually going to go. Is to kind of a personal question. It's gaining some insight of you, right, about that, because what you said, they care about it. But when we're speaking of those incarcerated, whether inmates, defendants, whatever you want to refer to the folks incarcerated there, residents. Yeah, there you go. That's right. What's your opinion of those people that are locked up inside of Bourbon County Jail? We are so glad to have Ugly Tent as a sponsor to the show. My longtime friend Kenny Dietrich is a subject matter expert in modern survival, bushcrafting, and preparedness. As he challenges on the show, be prepared for the disaster most likely to happen to you. But let me tell you, Ugly Tent is so much more than just disaster preparedness. You need to check out the website at uglytent.com. That's UGLYTENT.com for a complete list of their products, their classes, and all the services that Kenny offers. There's a lot that I think you'll find interesting at uglytent.com. Again, just a neat place to go. So whether it's for camping, maybe it's a hike, maybe it's just trying to be in the outdoors for a little bit, uglytent.com is filled with the products and the services that you want. Not to mention you have a true expert as a resource for you. Listen, while you're there, use the promo code JUDE, that's lowercase JUDE, and that code will get you 10% off your total purchase. That's a pretty good deal for some really cool stuff. Anyway, check out Kenny at uglytent.com.
What's the difference in you and them? I mean, have you ever made a bad decision?
Yeah, every day.
I mean, some of us, I think all of us have, health problems, whether mental, all kinds of stuff. I think it all comes down to how you get help. And I think some people are slower to get help than others. It's not a difficult question, but they're human beings, and God loves them just as much as he loves me. He loves you, and they have opportunity just as much. I think some people struggle more than others. Some people need more help than others. But you also have to look at that person as well as, do they want to help themselves? And what can you do? You can't make anybody do anything. It's all about what they want, what they're going to give you and stuff. But if you can make those opportunities possible,
Do you see that as something that our jailer can do? Now, you've been clear about what the role of the jailer is not.
Yeah.
But do you think our jailer, the elected jailer, could create programs or whatever those inside need?
I'm not going to kick it to the curb and say he couldn't. I wouldn't do that, because I believe if you believe that you can do something, you can do it. So if you want to go in Bourbon County Jail and start a ministry, and you want to do a Friday men's group or something, if you put your mind to it, you can get it done. You talk to the right people, you can get it done. And I can tell you right now, if I probably want to do that, I've got some good folks that probably help me do that.
Yeah.
But so I think that the possibilities of that, they are possible, but this is more than just the jailer's position. Speaking on that jailer's position, that was the jailer's description for what Bourbon County is. Now, when you come to that jail, I think if if you go to that jail, you learn not just the employees and stuff, but that's the main thing. You want to learn those employees' names, or get to know employees, or meet people. Have people know your face and your name. If you're the jailer of Bourbon County and you go to the jail and nobody knows who you are, and you're walking the halls or you're in the office, or like, who's that guy? People should know you.
Yeah.
And
as a jailer, since you don't have oversight, do you have access to the jail? I mean,
so you don't have a key to the jail. 100% do not have a key to the jail. You are not handed a key to the jail, and you are not handed a vehicle, a Bourbon County jailer truck. We have some nice vehicles at Bourbon County Jail, but that's not your vehicle, and you don't take it home.
What's it used for? Is that the transport vehicle?
Those are transport vehicles used by. So if I was called in to transport an inmate, I'd be called in, we'd set up when it is, whatever. All right, be there. Go to the jail, park my personal vehicle, get in one of those vehicles, and, load up and
do whatever the task is.
Well,
that's interesting. I didn't know that. I'm sure didn't appreciate it, that as the elected jailer, you don't have access to the jail then.
You can't come and go. Not as you really please. And the thing is, though, is, like I said, Sam Norris is a heck of a guy. Nice guy. It's all in, but he runs the jail. If he doesn't want you in that building, you can't go in that building. He runs that building. That's his building.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting, right? And again, by the survey, I think this is interesting because I think people think as the jailer that surely you have access to the jail or you have some role.
What do you need access to?
Well, I institute programs, be there, be available, see the face, all the things that you're saying that the jailer needs to do. It now seems difficult to do that. And I'm curious.
I don't think it's difficult to necessarily do that. I think it's about how you do it.
Okay.
I think if you walk in there all buffed out, chest out, this is my jail, I'm the jailer, here I am, it's not going to go over well.
Yeah.
You don't run the jail as a jailer. You just, this is a community thing. It's a partnership thing. You're of assistance. I think you can definitely go in the jail. You say, hey, I want to come in here. I want to reach out to some inmates. I just want to talk to them. I want to see where they're at. I want to tell them about Jesus. Say that was our situation. I want to tell them about Jesus. I don't think anybody'd stop you. I think you definitely
as the jailer,
can.
You mean? As the jailer, nobody would stop you? Is that what you mean? Or you mean?
Well, I think if you ask the right people, say like, hey, this is what I'd like to do. Do you care if I come in here and do this? And to be honest with you, I think even some folks off the street, I know we do church ministry in the jail.
Sure,
I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's stuff like this. I think there's endless opportunity to rehabilitation. There's endless opportunity for it. But if you are breaking it down to the jailer's position and what the jailer actually does, it's just not that. Now, I'm not saying you get somebody in your vehicle. They're like, hey, man, you having a good day? I'd throw at them, you believe in Jesus? Why can't you minister to somebody on the way to a different facility?
Sure.
I mean, not that you do that all the time or anything. It's situational, you know what I'm saying? Hear them out. Be like, man, you're doing all right. It's okay to do that. You can run your own thing like that. Just be kind to others.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I mean,
like I said, we've learned a lot through the podcast, and again, you're giving even a different perspective than some of that we've heard, right?
Yeah.
So it's just interesting for us to hear, and that's matched up by some of the comments that we had from that survey. So
yeah.
It's good conversation to dig into.
I mean, I'll tell you right now, you ask any law enforcement in this county or anybody that's been in this county for at least 8 years, what I've just told you is what they're going to tell you is what the jailer does or what the jailer's supposed to do.
I got you. Now, there's some current legislation that's out. I don't know a whole lot about it, but it's dealing with something about county jails and regional jails. Are you familiar with that legislation?
Not totally, no.
Oh, okay.
Not to what you're bringing up.
Yeah, I got you. I don't have anything specific about it. It's just interesting as we get into these conversations that there is actually legislation that's out there. And I was just curious you had thoughts on it, but it certainly hasn't passed, and I don't know if it's made it out of committee or anything yet. So I know no more on it either. Well, moving over to a maybe the more fun question for campaigning. So have you ran for office before?
No.
No, I haven't either. I've thought about it a time or two, and but I never have. So what's the most challenging part about running a campaign?
Oh,
it's a loaded question.
Well,
isn't it?
I mean, I'll tell you.
You said you've been researching this for like a year.
Yeah, but you talk to the right people, and if you're not talking to the right people, you ask those people who the right people are to talk to. You talk to previous sheriffs. You talk to previous jailers.
And that's just to gain information, or just okay.
Yeah, and I've had other jailers. I've had the Oldham County jailer reach out to some of my family that are good friends. And I'm like, hey, if Jake has any questions, tell him to reach out. And if he wants to come up here and check us out and stuff. And the Oldham County jailer runs the jail. He does the administration and all that stuff. So it's a little bit different, but that is neat. I'll tell you another thing. Sorry, I don't want to get off track here. But with the campaign, I'm really good at that.
It's your show, man. We're here for you.
But I don't think it's tough at all. And I say that, running as I'm not running for judge. I'm not running for sheriff. Now I'm treating this like I would be. Trust me, I'd love to be running for sheriff.
Yeah.
I think we have some great candidates for it. I think we have some great candidates for judge. And I'm so excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for Bourbon County in general because there's so many people that are so good. But those people are the people that have taught me a lot too. Yeah. So that's what's made me less concerned.
Nervous about running.
I'm not endorsed by anybody. Right. I'm not, nobody signed for me other than some friends and some good folks, but I have the backing of, law enforcement and stuff.
Sounds like you've got a great support system to help.
It does. It does.
And it's so good to know that whether I was running for this or not, I can still go to those people and ask questions.
Sure.
Well, of course.
And,
So how do people find out more about Jacob Adkins running for jailer? How do we
find you?
Yeah.
Facebook, elect Jacob Aaron or Jacob Jake Adkins. I think it is on Facebook.
Jacob Adkins Bourbon County Jailer.
Yes, sir.
And you have, is this a new page?
That is a newer page.
Well, I mean, you're over 300 followers. So,
I'm sure there's some family and friends from different states in there, obviously.
Well, that's fine, too.
But you know what? You get support where you can get it.
That's right.
Yeah, you get support wherever you can get it. That's
or
exactly
you can find me on the side of the road on a sign.
So if people want any type of yard signs or anything like that, they need to reach out.
Yes, absolutely. Any yard signs, any information. If anybody, would like to meet for lunch or anything or has any questions, I appreciate it. And, if anybody has anything they need help for, I'm big on helping anybody I can, especially elderly folks or anybody that can't. As far as a volunteer firefighter and stuff, the last thing you want is to go to a call where somebody tried to do something they can't physically do or something. So I've always in this community, I've lived here in Bourbon County for over 6 years. So
where are you from originally?
I was born in Louisville. Yeah, I was born in Louisville. I've lived in Nicholasville, Lexington a little bit. I've lived in Wyoming a little bit.
And you left with all the hunting. You left Wyoming.
Oh yeah. So
we're transplants too. So we've been here about 26 years.
Yeah,
something like that.
So, but I have a beautiful girlfriend, and I should probably ask her to marry me pretty soon.
Yeah.
Or I might not be living in Bourbon County
anymore.
But yeah, I just really like this community. I love this community. And like I said, the people that have taught me so much, and being a young, like I said, I've said it several times in this podcast, 30 years old. I am the youngest person running for an office in this county. And I don't know if I'm the youngest ever, but I would like to see more people. And if they don't start running, in the next 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, where are we going to be? if you don't have
be old
people
like us.
Yeah. Age will catch up to you. That's for sure.
I'm no angel by any means or anything like that, but I want to be a Charlie Kirk. I want to be, follow folks like that and learn and have a voice that you can stand on, or stand up for yourself.
Well, I think that's a great set of closing comments, but I do want to just ask you or offer it one more time. Any other comments you want to make? Anything else you want to talk about this position that we haven't asked about?
Shoo.
I think what you said summarized it pretty well about who you are and why you're running.
Yeah. I tell you, you can get out here, campaign all you want and stuff, but I think it truly comes down to your relationships with the people that matter most in this position. Those two groups of people being the Bourbon County Sheriff's Office and then the Bourbon County Regional Jail. Those are who you're being of service to. That's who you're answering to.
Yeah.
And making yourself available to. You play it off and don't want to be of service, then it's just not the right position. But I just think that there's a lot that could be changed. And just do the best you can do and try to be the best person you can be. We're not all perfect. We all have issues. And like I said, just be a service.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, as I said earlier, I'll close the show with what we said at the beginning. For you to put your name in the hat, to be a young man putting yourself out there in the public, to get involved and be in office, takes a considerable amount of courage and confidence and abilities. And I think you should be congratulated for that. We wish you the best of luck, whatever happens in this election. And appreciate you coming in and spending time with us. But again, that work and that credit goes to you for putting your name in a hat. So
thank you. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay. With that, we'll go out with Creole Mardi Gras from the Pine Leaf Boys.
A little gumbo and Creole.
Aye. Happy Fat Tuesday and all those things.
Stay tuned for Lent tomorrow.
That's right. Show notes, stuff there. Thanks for every like, download and listen, share. And we'll catch you on the next episode.